In this tutorial, we'll learn how to save responses across multiple trials and display them back to the participant at the end of the task. Let's start by seeing what this task looks like by clicking the Preview button. During the task, participants respond to each trial by clicking on one of the 4 response options. At the end of the task, participants can see a recap of all the responses that they have selected in the task. To see how this task is set up, we should look at the spreadsheet first. You can see we have 6 rows of the task display, followed by the responses display. This is so we have the participant make 6 choices, before we then show them all 6 of the choices they have made back to them in the responses display. We then have our stimuli in the puzzle column and in the 4 response columns. All of these cells have the exact file name of the images in our stimuli tab. And importantly, we also have this column called saved responses. In this column we have trial 1 through to trial 6. This is going to help with how we save and then redisplay the participant responses later. So let's head back and look at the task display. On our 4 response options, we want to bind the image to the relevant response. This then shows the image we want. Then, on the click response component, we also want to bind this to the same column, response 1, and repeat this step for all responses. This means when a participant clicks on one of these images, we get the file name as the response. We also add a tag to each click response. This is so we can take an action based on any response associated with the specific tag. Moving over to the Screen tab, we now need to save the response. So we need to add the Save Response component. We set the criteria to response tag and set the tag as response. Then, under the field, we need to toggle on Show Advanced Settings. We then select Save Response column. What this does is in each trial, Gorilla looks at the value in the Save Response column, so for example Trial 1, and then creates a field in the store called Trial 1, and saves the response to this field. If we look back at the spreadsheet, we can see how the Save Response column we set up earlier will work. Each trial, the Save Response component that we've just set up will use the value in the Save Response column. So we'll end up with 6 fields in the store, Trial 1 through to Trial 6, each with a value of one of the possible response options. This means we will have a field in the store called Trial 1 that might have a value of say p1a.png, then another field called Trial 2 that might have a value of p10c.png, and so on through each of the rows. We can quickly test this with the screen preview. In the debug window, we see the response received is p1a.png. We also see the field trial 1 is set to p1a.png, which is exactly what we want. Now, let's head to the next display to show how we redisplay all of these responses to the participant. We have 6 image objects, one for each of the responses a participant will give. We bind the images to the store and select Trial 1 for the first image, Trial 2 for the second image, and so on. From the last step, we know that Trial 1 field will have the value of the image a participant clicked on, so something like p1a.png. This means when a participant does the full task, they'll see the image they selected. While you're building the task, you'll just see the placeholders. That's expected, as currently Trial 1 through to Trial 6 are all blank.